Number one weirdest thing that happened. I had like 80 texts when I woke up sending me this article from Rolling Stone. It says, Trump White House pressured Disney to censor Jimmy Kimmel. Now, it's for Trump, you know, if you want to come on the show to tell me to be quiet yourself, we still have that arcade claw machine the My Pillow guy got in. You can climb inside and say whatever's on your delicate little mind, okay? Hi, we represent Donald Trump. We were wondering if you could, hello? I mean, who would have ever guessed that a hard-earned reputation for not ever paying your bills would make it difficult to get credit? And
Brace yourself for an unexpected turn of events as the former president and the late-night host have engaged in a heated confrontation, complete with physical altercation and emotional outbursts. The tension between these two public figures has reached a boiling point, and the resulting drama is sure to captivate audiences. Grab your popcorn, because this showdown is a can't-miss event.
Company that owns ABC, our network, and Jimmy Kimmel is me, so obviously I was interested in seeing what it was.
President Trump was reportedly enraged by the jokes made about him on Jimmy Kimmel's TV show. According to Rolling Stone, the White House allegedly instructed officials to silence the late-night host. The report indicates that at least 2 phone calls were made to a senior executive at Disney, the parent company of ABC, which airs Kimmel's show, urging action against the comedian.
The story, in 2018, Donald Trump, who was at that time president of the United States, was so upset about my jokes that I made about him, he directed his staffers at the White House to call Disney to tell them to rein me in. At least 2 calls were made from the Trump White House to, quote, convey the president's anger regarding Kimmel's monologues and jabs. In other words, President Karen demanded to speak to my manager. I think the guy who fathered Eric and Don Jr. would know how to handle jokes, but I guess not. The article says news of these calls spread around the corridors of power in Washington. Wow, what a plot twist.
The former president was deeply offended by the late-night host's mocking of him, prompting him to direct his staff to take action in early 2018. While the American national security apparatus was preoccupied with reports of North Korea's nuclear weapons program and Russia's suspected chemical weapons plots in Europe, President Donald Trump was focused on his perceived enemy, late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. According to 2 former officials from the Trump administration, the president was greatly disturbed by Kimmel's comedic jabs, leading him to instruct his White House staff to contact one of Disney's top executives in Washington, D.C. to express his grievances and demand a response.
The first time Donald Trump ever tries to stop someone from talking about him on television, and it's me.
The White House communicated the president's substantial displeasure with Kimmel to Disney during multiple phone discussions around the end of Trump's initial year in office, according to former officials cited by Rolling Stone. Trump's team emphasized that the commander-in-chief expected the multi-billion-dollar corporation to rein in the ABC host, who had been critical of the president. One former senior administration official described Kimmel's conduct as highly deceptive and asserted that Trump believed the host's actions warranted legal action in the past.
The article says news of these calls spread around the corridors of power in Washington. Wow, what a plot twist. The first time Donald Trump ever tries to stop someone from talking about him on television, and it's me.
The peculiar incident quickly spread through the corridors of power in Washington, D.C. Even administration officials who weren't part of the pressure campaign heard from their Disney contacts, perplexed by the repeated White House messages urging Kimmel to ease up on his anti-Trump humor. At least 1 call was made to Disney, as a former Trump White House official confirmed. The sources spoke anonymously to preserve their relationships in Trump's world and conservative circles. Nobody expected it to change anything, but since Trump was focused on it, they had to do something, mainly to show him they took action. Kimmel didn't hold back in addressing these statements on his show, humorously remarking that he usually had to pay for this type of entertainment. With his signature wit, he turned the situation on its head, poking fun at the idea of the president being concerned about jokes. Kimmel's witty comeback amplified the absurdity, eliciting uproarious laughter from the audience. His clever retort further accentuated the peculiar nature of the circumstances, captivating the crowd with its humor.
Usually when he wants somebody to stop talking about him, he pays them $130,000, but he wanted me to do it for nothing. I wonder what it was specifically that sparked his Trumper tantrum. I wonder what it was he found so objectionable. I don't know. Maybe it was the time I had Stormy Daniels look at a plate of carrots and to size them up, and she picked the little one. Nicknames, I was going through, like Tanny Soprano, Nostradamus, Emperor Palpatine hands, Mar-a-Lardo, King Tutankhamun, the Hydroxy Horror Picture Show, Pumpkin McCornhumper, Grab Ass Grandpa, Orange Julius Caesar, Caludicrous, Flabios, Freddy Krueger, the Tandalorian, Liger Woods, QAnon, Dictator Tot. Give me, I only have 100 more, okay? Quid pro comb over, Uncle Scam, Fibonacci, the One Terminator, Chocolate Mussolini, YMCA Hole, the Recount of Monte Cristo, Daddy Bone Spurs, or George Washington, maybe. That was...
The White House's efforts to exert pressure on certain individuals have been clumsy and outdated, according to information obtained by Rolling Stone. Sources disclosed that Trump's team reached out to former Disney lobbyist Richard Bates to convey the president's annoyance with the monologues and jabs made by comedian Jimmy Kimmel. Bates, a prominent Disney executive and a well-established figure in Washington for over 3 decades, passed away in December 2020.
Fragile little snowflake. What a blowhard. He's a blowhard and a snowflake. He's a blowflake is what he is. He changed the hats to say Make America Wine Again, Mawa, because when you think of all the people I regularly make fun of, it's a lot of people. The only two who've tried to stop me are Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who actually called the cops on me. I made fun of OJ 1,000 times. He hasn't tried to kill me once. This guy, Donald Trump. All he does is make fun of. He makes fun of disabled journalists. He calls our veterans prisoners of war, even losers. He insults his opponents, his friends, his family. But if I point out that he's so fat they renamed the plane Air Force Wonder Bread, I'm the bad guy all of a sudden?
Despite its efforts, the pressure campaign ultimately fell short. However, this previously undisclosed endeavor serves as another example of Trump's readiness to leverage the vast powers of his office for personal gain and insignificant reasons. On his show, Jimmy Kimmel addressed the situation with his trademark wit, quipping that perhaps Trump's wife slept in a separate room because she couldn't contain her laughter at his long-winded speeches. The audience erupted in laughter as Kimmel's playful jab shed light on the absurdity of the failed pressure campaign, providing a refreshing touch of levity to the tense situation.
This is why Donald and Melania sleep in separate bedrooms. She was laughing too hard at my monologue at night.
With Trump back in the race for the White House, there's no sign that his desire to use government power in a similar way has decreased. In a recent radio chat, the former president claimed he deserves a revenge-seeking mission if he secures the presidency in 2024, but then said he wouldn't actually pursue that path if he's elected again.
What a blatant abuse of power. I wonder if Fox News, they're always screaming about censoring comedians. Will they defend me on this? I doubt it.
Despite his public declarations supporting free speech and opposing censorship, Trump's actions frequently diverge from his own rhetoric. While he vocally champions these ideals, his actual conduct often fails to uphold them, according to his critics. They argue that his administration has implemented measures that could be perceived as encroaching on free speech, such as efforts to silence critics in the media and on online platforms. This apparent inconsistency between his words and deeds has fueled debate and raised questions about the sincerity of Trump's commitment to the principles he publicly endorses.
Today I'm directing my administration to explore all regulatory and legislative solutions to protect free speech and the free speech rights of all Americans. We're here to discuss protecting Americans from censorship. The country cannot tolerate political hold the right of free speech. We will always protect free speech. The censorship and bias is a threat to freedom itself, a bedrock of American life. We believe in free. One that really likes free speech. Censorship. You can't pick one person and say, well, we don't like what he's been saying, he's out.
Despite repeatedly voicing his support for unrestricted expression and opposition to censorship, Trump found himself facing criticism on Jimmy Kimmel's program. Kimmel accused him of being a hypocrite, pointing out apparent contradictions between Trump's rhetoric and his actual conduct concerning media outlets and online spaces. Kimmel's comments further fueled the ongoing discussion about the sincerity of Trump's dedication to the principles he champions through his public addresses.
Interesting, isn't it? It's almost like he's a hypocrite, What else is a shame? Jim Jordan just had his big congressional hearing on the weaponization of the federal government, and I couldn't be there to testify about a president of the United States who abused his authority to silence someone who disagrees with him and tried to muzzle free speech. I'm so sorry, Jim. I would have been happy to help with that. And as for Trump,
During his presidency, Trump frequently directed his attention toward criticizing late-night television shows and celebrities for their jokes about him. Despite being portrayed as a thin-skinned former game show host, Trump's reactions to such criticism often led to public confrontations and clashes with those who mocked him on these platforms. Amidst this ongoing feud, Trump recently reignited his Oscars dispute with Jimmy Kimmel on Truth Social, where he once again lambasted Kimmel's hosting abilities as horrendous. However, Trump's criticism took an unexpected twist when he mistakenly confused Kimmel with last year's Best Picture presenter, Al Pacino. This latest jab comes as Trump faces a hush money trial in New York City, which Kimmel has been gleefully mocking on his ABC late-night show. Trump's criticism of Kimmel's horrendous performance and big ratings drop as Oscars host, as well as Kimmel's supposed Trump derangement syndrome, continue to fuel the ongoing feud between the two. The president's response to a major showbiz event was a classic blunder, one of the biggest in recent memory. Even more embarrassing, he forgot to deliver the expected line. And the winner is, instead he fumbled with the envelope. Reportedly, talk show host Jimmy Kimmel poked fun at the president, likening him to a towering leprechaun. Kimmel further quipped that the president spent St. Patrick's Day dwelling on their ongoing banter, unable to let go of the jokes Kimmel had made about him at the Oscars. The feud between the two public figures persists.
large orange leprechaun spent his St. Patrick's Day focused on me, of all people. St. Fatty had an interview with Fox News yesterday, and apparently he's still stewing about a joke I made about him.
And Jimmy Kimmel, because during the Academy Awards you posted, has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? Less than an average person trying too hard. And he then read that on the air and then took a crack at you. You getting even with him.
And what
for
else
all-
did I say? I said some other pretty good things.
What were you getting even with him
George
for all his anti-Trump jokes?
Slappadopoulos. Look, Jimmy Kimmel is every night, he hits me, I guess. His ratings are terrible. He's not a talented guy. I hear he hits me all the time, so I figured I'd hit him because I thought he was a...
During the closing moments of the 2024 Oscars telecast, the host Jimmy Kimmel surprised the audience by choosing to share Donald Trump's real-time assessment of the event. Trump, who had been closely following the award show from his Mar-a-Lago estate, had apparently been sending in scathing commentary and critiques throughout the evening through various social media channels. Kimmel, sensing an opportunity to engage with the former president's unsolicited feedback, decided to read out some of Trump's most biting remarks from the Oscars stage. This prompted an immediate and fiery rebuttal from Kimmel, who took the chance to directly address and refute Trump's criticisms in front of the live audience and millions of television viewers. The exchange between Kimmel and Trump quickly became the talk of the Oscars, overshadowing the actual award presentations and stirring up a heated debate online and in the media about the appropriate role of political commentary at such a high-profile entertainment event. Some praised Kimmel for standing up to Trump, while others condemned the host for injecting partisan politics into the proceedings. Ultimately, the unexpected clash between the Oscars host and the former president served to further underline the deep political divisions and heated rhetoric that had come to define the post-Trump era in American politics. It was a moment that encapsulated the ongoing tensions and clashes between the entertainment industry and conservative figures who have often been at odds over issues of culture, values, and the role of celebrity in the public discourse.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still... Isn't it past your jail time?
In his latest social media post, President Trump mistakenly attributed a slip-up to the famous comedian Jimmy Kimmel, when in reality, it was the renowned actor Al Pacino who made the blunder during the prestigious Academy Awards ceremony. Pacino accidentally said Oppenheimer instead of the standard "and the Oscar goes to" line, leaving the audience perplexed. While Trump may view this as one of the most significant gaffes in entertainment history, it has no connection to the individual he's targeting in his post. It seems Trump simply cannot let go of the jab Kimmel made at him during the Oscars. In a Fox News interview immediately following the event, Trump harshly criticized Kimmel, labeling him as a poor host and questioning his talents. Trump's criticism didn't stop there, as he also claimed that Kimmel's ABC talk show has abysmal ratings.
Shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Donald Trump has said I'm not talented so many times. Erica's starting to get jealous, but what he doesn't realize is that I love this. I love that this bothered him so much. I love that Fox picked a news guy nobody knows to interview him, and I especially love when he tries to spin the fact that everyone was laughing at him into a positive.
In the aftermath of the Oscars ceremony, the media landscape was abuzz with the events that had transpired on the grand stage. At the center of the discussion was the interaction between late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, who had served as the ceremony's MC, and former President Donald Trump. In the days following the award show, Kimmel revealed that he had been cautioned against reading out loud any remarks made by Trump regarding the Oscars proceedings. However, Kimmel chose to disregard this advice, recognizing the potential for a viral moment that could capture public attention. True to form, Trump did not hold back in his assessment of Kimmel's decision. Appearing on Fox News, the former president unleashed a scathing critique, suggesting that Kimmel's actions demonstrated a level of intellectual inferiority that exceeded even Trump's own initial impressions of the comedian. According to Trump, Kimmel could have easily avoided the ensuing media frenzy by simply refraining from acknowledging the president's comments altogether. The clash between the two public figures underscored the enduring tensions and polarized nature of the political landscape in the United States. Kimmel's willingness to defy the advice of his handlers and engage with Trump's remarks drew both praise and condemnation, highlighting the complex dynamics at play when prominent figures from the entertainment and political spheres collide. The episode served as a microcosm of the broader cultural and ideological divisions that continue to shape the national discourse, with each side asserting its own narrative and attempting to gain the upper hand in the court of public opinion. As the dust settled, the incident left an indelible mark on the Oscar ceremony and the ongoing dialogue between the worlds of politics and popular culture.
Maybe you're right about me being dumb. We should take one of those cognitive tests or an IQ test together, or maybe we could sit down for a long game of Scrabble and find out who has the biglier brain. I would love that. I would love to do that with you.
Which is on fire, by the way. Truth Social is doing great. I never expected he was going to be reading it just prior to the movie of the year, which is the big one, right? That's the big one. I think they get the man, the woman, now the movie of the year. He reads my truth on air. He reads exactly what you read. And now the big story is that they all begged him not to do it, don't do it. Right. He probably stupidly, he had to act in a short period of time, like minutes, right? He had minutes because he's on air. He sees this thing, and he wants to go out there and he wants to, I guess, confront me and so. And he ends up reading my truth. I said, this guy's even dumber than I thought. The thing went viral. It's been all over the world now. And all he had to do is keep his mouth shut.
You forget why it went viral all over the world. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still, isn't it past your jail time? Barbie was laughing at you. Not only were they laughing at you on Oscar Sunday,
Kimmel retaliated against Trump, highlighting the reason why the moment became a global sensation. His punchline, "Isn't it past your jail time?" which drove its widespread popularity. Kimmel also noted the surge in merchandise sales featuring this anti-Trump catchphrase, demonstrating the impact of his remark. After playfully mocking Trump, Kimmel announced his decision to shift his focus towards more positive endeavors, despite Trump's comedic efforts to get under his skin. Although Trump's initial gestures were intended to provoke, there seems to be a silver lining, as he later offered some complimentary words for Kimmel in an interview.
Now dozens of past your jail time shirts for sale. There are mugs. There are tank tops. There's an "Isn't it past your jail time" backpack. People are writing it outside the Trump Hotel. There are billboards. There are billboards in Pennsylvania, in Florida, and there are a lot more to come, but I kept my mouth shut. Imagine him telling anyone they should have kept their mouth shut. I mean, that should be on his tombstone. Should have kept his mouth shut. And by the way, I'm not, hey, maybe, you know what? Maybe you're right about me being dumb. We should take one of those cognitive tests or an IQ test together, or maybe we could sit down for a long game of Scrabble and find out who has the biglier brain. I would love that. I would love to do that with you.
The heated exchange between Jimmy Kimmel and Donald Trump has grabbed headlines, but it's worth considering the broader implications. When prominent figures clash, it's not just about the entertainment value. Their words have the power to shape our political discourse and perspectives. This public confrontation is like watching a real-life drama, complete with unexpected twists and turns. Regardless of your allegiance, one thing is clear: this ongoing feud is far from over, and there's no telling what the future holds. As this roller coaster saga continues, Stay tuned for more developments. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to click the bell icon for updates.